بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وعلى من تبع هداهم إلى يوم الدين. As we know that, alhamdulillah, that we have passed a special occasion today, even though we passed through a very difficult time for myself as I'm moving from one place to another. So the upheaval that the person would experience regarding moving from one place to another, which I don't know what I'm going to move to, but alhamdulillah, that is why it was really a bit of hardship on me, myself. But it will not be as hard as those people who were in Arafah today, where they're going to be standing before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that congestion in the crowd. And this is a special day, as I said. And we ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to grant us a Hajj inshallah next year, so it could be on Arafah, bi-idhnillah. The special occasion, it happened that Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, he had seen a vision in which the vision of the Prophet is to be revelation. When the Prophet sees a vision, that means it's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to have his revelation in a vision, in the first part of his revelation, for 6 months through the vision. And also, that the Prophet ﷺ, when he sees something, it used to be true. كَفَلَقِ الصُّبْحِ. So Ibrahim alayhi salam, he sees in his vision that he is slaughtering his own son, Ismail alayhi salam. Now, the Prophet Ibrahim is consulting his son. Now, the son of his is not any son. He's a righteous son, plus he's a prophet, and he will be a prophet. And we know that for the actual fact that all the prophets, they used to call Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant them a righteous son. From all the prophets, from Ibrahim and Nuh alayhi salam, all of them, they used to ask Allah Azza wa Jal, ذُرِّيَّةً صَالِحًا هَبْ لِي مِن لَدُنْكَ ذُرِّيَّةً طَيِّبًا. Also, we know that the righteous people, Ibad al-Rahman, from their saying, الَّذِينَ يَقُولُونَ رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا وَذُرِّيَّاتِنَا قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ. So it is all the time that we're asking Allah Azza wa Jal for righteous offspring and a righteous lineage. And when Ibrahim alayhi salam asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a righteous lineage, he had given him Ismail alayhi salam, to produce our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And from the lineage of Ibrahim, as Ibrahim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, we know that for a fact that he had Ishaq and Yaqub and Yusuf and all these prophets. So he came to his prophet Ismail, his son, and he said to him, "Verily I see in my dream that I am slaughtering you." And he knows it's a revelation. He could have just said, "Ismail, I'm going to slaughter you." True or not? Because it's a vision and it's a revelation. But this is as well from the etiquette of a father to his son, where he's saying to him something which he knows the son, it is right. But it is as an etiquette. Like for example, if you want your son to help you for something, and you see that the box needs to be, I think the box is heavy, my dear son. What do you think? Shall we? Better than say, go on, pinch, take the box and move it. Do you understand that? So you know that it's a must-have point. If you tell your son, go and move it, he has to move it. But what do you think? Is it heavy? Do you think that box? If your son, mashallah, smart and he's dutiful, you say, "Yeah, Dad, I'm going to help you." But if he's trying to be slow, pretending to be slow, he doesn't want to help his father, he's saying, What do you mean by that? The box we want to move is heavy. Yeah, okay, what do you mean by that? So the Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, he says to his son, "I see in my dream that I'm slaughtering." He could have just said, "I want to slaughter you." So Ismail alayhi salam, showing the ultimate dutifulness to his father. He's saying, "If'al ma tu'mar." Dear father, do what you've been commanded. Because it's a command from Allah Azza wa Jal. Go ahead and slaughter me. And he knows, Ismail alayhi salam, that the agonization is going to be on his father more than himself. Even though he's going to be slaughtered himself, but the one who's going to slaughter him is his father. It's not going to be easy. It's a test from Allah Azza wa Jal. And also, it's an ultimate test because he's a prophet. And that is why the prophets usually they will have the test which is more than us. They will have even the trials more than us. For in terms of illness, it will be more than us, double. And that is where they'll get the double reward. So when he put him in his face, and because he doesn't want to see his expression on the face of his son, and he wanted to slaughter him, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends a big white ram with horns, and he says, وَفَدَيْنَاهُ بِذِبْحٍ عَظِيمٍ, and we have ransomed him with a great ram. With a great ram. And that is the sunnah that we are reviving, because the Prophet of Allah revived the sunnah of his father, Ibrahim, and we're reviving the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad in order to revive the sunnah of Ibrahim, and order as well to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Almighty. So inshallah we will talk about the ruling of this udhiyah and all the etiquettes regarding this after the adhan and also after the prayer. And we know as well that Ismail alayhi salam, he had showed his dutifulness to his father a number of times. When the Prophet Ibrahim, he told him that Allah Azza wa Jal commanded me to build a house, Ismail was there to help him. Stone by stone. And both of them, they saying, Rabbana taqabbal minna. O Lord, that is, accept from us. And they're doing it for the sake of Allah, but yet they say, accept this from us, O Lord. And also Ismail alayhi salam, when he had married the first wife, and then the Prophet Ibrahim, his father, paid him a visit and he was not there. And then he asked the wife of his about their circumstances. She started complaining. No, we don't have this, and we don't have that, and we don't have this. So, and she doesn't realize that he is her father-in-law. So he said to her, when Ismail comes, gives him my salam and tell him to change his doormat. So when Ismail arrived, she told him what happened. An old man is saying salam to you, and he's telling you to change your doormat. He said, this is my father, and he's telling me to divorce you. And you divorced. Straight away, without any hesitation. And the second time, when Ismail alayhi salam married for the second time, Prophet Ibrahim paid him a visit again, and he was not there. He asked about Ismail. He was not there. Then he asked about their circumstances. So she said, Alhamdulillah, no complaint. So he said to her, verily when Ismail comes back, convey him my salam and tell him to affirm his doormat. So when Ismail came, she said that this old man paid you a visit, and he's saying to you to affirm your doormat. So he said, this is my father, he's telling me to keep you as a wife. The son is so beneficial to the person. We know that the Prophet ﷺ, he said regarding the son, that is, if a person has 3 sons, man Muslimin is father and mother, 2 Muslims, having 3 children, they did not reach the puberty where they're going to be accounted for their sin, and they die, and both the couple receive that with full submission and recognition to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah Azza wa Jalla would make them to enter paradise for their mercy upon Him and for Allah's mercy upon them. When those children, they will be going to paradise because they are not accounted for their deeds, and they are in paradise. All the children, whether Muslims or non-Muslims, that's what we believe. Muslims, children with consensus. Non-Muslim children with difference, but we believe that all of them are in paradise. These 3 children, when about to enter paradise, they would say, no, until we have our parents with us, we will not enter. So they would say, enter you and your fathers and your parents in paradise. Also, when the person teaches his son, his daughter, the Quran, on the day of resurrection, this child will be given the crown of Quran, because he had learned the Quran and not only learned it, also implemented it. This is what the target from learning the knowledge, to implement it. Beneficial knowledge, it will get you to Jannah. So, he'll be given the crown, and his father and his mother, they will be as well given hullatan, That is, 2 garments. لا تقوم لهما الدنيا. Now the whole dunya will be able to purchase such 2 garments. They will ask, "Oh Lord, why these 2 garments being given to us?" We said to them, "Verily, this is because of your son. You had taught your son." Prophet ﷺ, he said, when the person dies, all his actions will cease to benefit him except for 3 things. They are shakir, sadaqah jari, ongoing charity. Doctor? The last one, let's do the last one. Second one, yes, knowledge, which is beneficial. And the last one, a son or a daughter what? Praying to him. It's praying to him. Then he's making dua, supplicating to him, to them. So, everybody, try to be making sure that he's going to produce healthy children, good for the community. And it's not just to produce children and leave them like that. We want to make sure as much as we can to produce children, because I'm telling you, bringing up a child in this environment is not really easy. It is not easy. It is very difficult. The udhiyah is compulsory upon every person who is a householder every year if he's financially capable. Proof for that, the Prophet ﷺ, he said, "He who does not make sacrificial, then let him not approach our musalla to pray with us the Eid." Also becomes compulsory on the poor person if he had vowed it. So if he vowed to Allah to make an udhiyah, it becomes compulsory upon him also. This is only on the householder. I mean the person who is in charge. Only. So meaning that if we have a rich wife and a poor husband and poor children, the udhiyah is not compulsory upon that house, because the householder is the husband and he is poor. And he's got no right to take money from his wife unless with her consent. If she had given him, yes. But we don't say to the wife, "You produce the udhiyah." She wants, she could give the money to her husband and he becomes now able to produce an udhiyah. It has to be surplus on top of his expenses. Then he will be asked to make the udhiyah because he becomes rich. But if it is, we're having a poor husband and even a poor wife, but yet one of the sons there is, all the daughters, rich, are in the house, then it is must upon the father to produce the udhiyah. Because the son has the right the father has the right to take the money from the son, not to request him, just to take it like this. Just puts his hand and he takes it. All he has to do, take his whatever, his debit card, ask him for the PIN number, put whatever he likes, and take money and go home. No laughing about that. أنت ومالك لأبيك. You and your money, all of you, and your money, just not your money, all of you, belongs to your parents. لأبيك means to your father and your mother, both. So they have the right to take the money and produce the udhiyah. So once your son or your daughter are rich, then you are rich. So he produces the udhiyah, and it's not allowed for the son to produce the udhiyah and he becomes a householder of his father. That's not right. That's not from the etiquettes. And if the father and the son are living in one house, then one udhiyah will be enough. But if they're separate houses, then the son who's rich is going to produce an udhiyah, and he's going to give money to his father to produce his own udhiyah as well. Because 2 different houses. على كل أو على أهل كل بيت. This is the أهل كل بيت, so the house. 1 minute, and then after that, inshallah, we'll continue to talk about the etiquettes of the udhiyah. It is not from the sunnah. If the husband produces an udhiyah, the wife to say, "I want to make my own udhiyah." That's not from the sunnah whatsoever. So the wife should not produce something. If they want to make another udhiyah, she gives money to the husband to produce udhiyah. We don't want a competition between the husband and the wife. And that's not right, that's not from the sunnah. Is it allowed to produce more than one udhiyah? Yes, it is allowed, as long as you're not boasting. You're not saying it, just doing it for the sake of boasting. And if you're making 2 udhiyah, then remember when we talk about the two udhiyah, then you need to abstain from holding, that is, nails and cutting the hair and the skin we're going to be talking about until the second udhiyah has been slaughtered, not the first one. Until your udhiyah is finished, both of them. And if you have more than one udhiyah, and both they are where you are, then the sunnah, and according to the scholars, must to take from both udhiyah, the meat, to eat from both of them. Because the Prophet ﷺ, when he slaughtered 100 camels, he took a portion from each one, put it in one saucepan, and he cooked it, and it's been cooked for him, and then he took the soup, that means it's been eaten from all of those 100 camels. So if it's 100 camels, it's easy going to be for you to take from what? 2 or 3 lambs, if you have been making the slaughtering. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yanfa'ana, inshallah after that prayer we'll continue. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah. In continuation from the brothers, when he announced the Eid prayer for tomorrow inshallah, just to make sure that as well you are ready spiritually for that, and also ready with following the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam footsteps in all what you do and all what you say. So the Eid prayer, as we know, is the Eid of al-Adha and the Eid of al-Fitr. And the difference between the two is just slightly sort of etiquettes, that is to do with, for example, when you come out of your house, making the takbir, and also in terms of as well eating the food. So, for example, Eid al-Udhiyah or the Eid al-Adha is a person when he comes out of his house making the takbir, it is a sunnah for him not to eat until he eats from his udhiyah, if he does a slaughtering in this country and he's doing it as well on the same day, because we don't want him to be hungry for the following days. So if he's got his udhiyah on the same day, it is from the sunnah not to eat. He could drink until he eats from his own udhiyah. Also, that the takbir, which we have started already, the takbir all the way from when we sighted the moon of the Hijjah of this month, it's about 9 days ago, and it was also more emphasized after the Fajr of the day of Arafah, which is today, and it will continue this takbir until the sunset of the last day of Tashriq, which means tomorrow and another 3 days. And this takbir is not linked only to the prayer. So some of the people is do the takbir after the prayer and then after that they finish. No, the takbir is all the time. Whenever you find yourself, ready for the takbir, you say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar kabira, or Allahu Akbar kabira, Allahu Akbar wa ajal, Allahu Akbar wa lillahi alhamd. Also from the takbir that the people they do, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar wa lillahi alhamd. You do the takbir with as loud as you can, and it is not just specified or designated to a group of people, but everybody participate in this takbir. The person on the Eid day is required to make a ghusl, which is recommended, it is not compulsory. And you make this ghusl as close as possible to the prayer. So if it is possible to do it after Fajr, then it would be better. So you make that ghusl even after the prayer of the Fajr, it would be better. But if you can't, then you do it after the Fajr, before Salat al-Fajr. If you can't, you could do it then after midnight from tonight. So that is to be as close as possible to the Eid. Also from the etiquette of the Eid is to put the newest clothes that you have and the best of perfume that you've got. You need to show that you are happy with this Eid and you are celebrating what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to celebrate. So put the best that you can. That shows as well that you are keen to as well abide by your religion. Now, when you go to the Salat al-Eid, you bring along with you your family, even those women who are not supposed to pray because of their circumstances. You bring them along, and the children as well. All the people will participate in this Eid. And remember as well that if you have a surplus to make an udhiyah, then you must make an udhiyah every year. That is what we've been talking about just before the prayer, but we haven't finished. I'm grabbing this opportunity before people leave, because I know that the people, they want to go as well to make sure that they're ready. Alhamdulillah, when I came to Luton is buzzing with Eid, and you could feel that there is Muslim community here. When I came to the road, it took me about 15 minutes just to come here to this masjid. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. But unfortunately as well, I've seen lots of things which is not to do with Islam. That, for example, those kids and youth, they're putting the music so loud. Celebration of the Eid is not this way. Or even some of the people, they're really causing as well more chaos to the traffic. by sneaking from here and there and making shortcuts which are not supposed to be. So we want to present ourselves with the best image as a Muslim. We are, true Muslims, not just Muslims by name. When you go to the prayer, you keep your takbir and you go from one direction, from one route, and then when you come back from a different route. And it is better for you to come to the masjid walking. So don't take your car unless it is too far. So come walking. And as I said, when you come walking, people would see you. And it will be more impact on the heart of your family, or more impact on the heart of the Muslims that are seeing you, more impact on the heart of those who are non-Muslim. You might call them to Islam by your way of making this Eid. So you come from one route, come to the masjid with takbir, and wait until the Imam starts his prayer. The prayer of the Eid consists of 2 rak'ah. There are 2 ways of praying the Eid, which is the way that the Jumhur prays it. That is the Takbirat al-Ihram, 7 takbirat, then the recitation, second takbirat, the takbirat of al-Intiqal to the second rak'ah, then 5 takbirat. And there's another way which is the Hanafi way, which is correct as well. That is 5 takbirat and 5 takbirat in both 2 rak'ahs. In the first rak'ah, the Imam would recite first of all the Takbirat al-Ihram, then 7 takbirat. Then he would recite the Fatiha and Surah Al-A'la, or he could recite as well Surah Al-Qamar. And in the second rak'ah, when he does his takbirah for transferring himself from the prostration to the second upright position, he would start with 5 takbirat, and then the Fatiha and Surah Al-Ghashiyah, or Al-Fatiha and Surah Qaf. And between the takbirat, what you say, there is no specific saying. But if you say Alhamdulillah, then inshallah would suffice you. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah. And raising up the hands in the takbirat al-Eid, we have a difference among the scholars, but we try to say that this is not going to inshallah split the ummah. We say the best is to follow the Prophet of Allah. So if you believe the Prophet of Allah did not do it, which I do, then you don't do it. If the person he believes the fatwa of the other mashayikh, who they say Abdullah ibn Umar, he had done it, which we believe that he hasn't done it because it wasn't authentic. But if he believes it's authentic and Abdullah ibn Umar does it from that he's seen the Prophet of Allah, then inshallah you do it. But raising up the hands, it was not narrated from the Prophet himself, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You, after recitation and after the prayer is finished, then we wait for the khutbah. And this khutbah is a khutbah which is not like the khutbah al-Jumu'ah, which is one khutbah. But if the Imam decided to make it 2 khutbah because he believed this is the correct way, again we say a difference among the scholars, but we believe that the Prophet of Allah did not do a khutbah like the Jumu'ah where he sat in the middle, then he continued. So it is 1 khutbah, and it is recommended, not compulsory upon the person to sit for the khutbah, but actually it is recommended to sit for the khutbah. And after the khutbah, then the congratulations of the people to one another, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would accept for them the ibadah they have done in those 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. And this as well, again, the congratulations is that if you haven't seen a person for a bit of time, you could hug him, but it's not an automatic hug. So no problem to shake the hand and to say that taqabbal Allah and everybody's happy. And remember, this Eid, as I said, is the Eid of the Udhiyah, so it is a sacrificial. So if you have a sacrificial animal to be done, don't waste your time. Straight away, go head to the abattoir or the farm that you have arranged with them to make your Udhiyah. This is the best thing. As I said, if the person is making his own Udhiyah, it is better for him not to eat until he eats from his Udhiyah. And if the Imam, according to the Sunnah, he had made his Udhiyah in the place where he makes his Eid prayer, of course he can't make it in this masjid, but if he has done it, then we may not make our Udhiyah until he does his own Udhiyah. Right, so the Udhiyah now, in terms of what is compulsory, what is not compulsory. Before I go ahead with the Udhiyah's ruling, I would like to tell you, if you did not do the prayer, for certain reason you're traveling, then you do the 2 rak'ah. For example, you forgot and you stayed at home, you do the 2 rak'ah, and you do it in the same manner that the Eid prayer is. For example, the first takbirah, 7 takbirah, then the Fatiha, then Surah Al-A'la, and so on and so forth. Right, now the takbirs, they don't finish until, as I said, the sunset of the last day of Tashriq. Al-Udhiyah, we said, is compulsory. And it's compulsory upon the householder of every house, and that is if he has a surplus to produce his Udhiyah plus his expenses. Also, it is compulsory upon the Hajj, if he has part of his family back home, So if he did his hadi for his tamattu or his qiran, then he has to make an udhiyah, arrange for an udhiyah to be produced where his family are. So a hadi where he is, and also an udhiyah for his family. Now, the udhiyah is in itself an entity. You cannot combine the udhiyah and something else. If a person had a child and his 7th day happens to be tomorrow, then you can't combine aqiqah and udhiyah in one animal. You can't combine the two. It has to be aqiqah on its own and udhiyah on its own. This udhiyah, it does not it's not compulsory upon you to do it for somebody who is dead, unless he had left money, like your father left money. He said, I want this money to be spent for udhiyah. But you saying that this udhiyah just specifically for my dead father, this is not right. Also, it is not really right to make an udhiyah specifically for a baby who is already in the womb of your wife. For verily he will be included already when you make an udhiyah for the rest of the family. And he who has the udhiyah incumbent upon him to do it, then you must not, or you may not cut your hair, or you can't cut your nails, and you can't cut your skin from the moment that the hilal of the Hijjah has been sighted until your udhiyah is being slaughtered. And remember that if you are doing Hajj and you had finished your Umrah during these days and you had an udhiyah to make for your family, then you may cut your hair for the sake of making tahallul of the ihram. So remember that. So if the person is making an Umrah during these days, he may make tahallul and cut the hair, and will not be violation for that. He who became capable of producing the udhiyah within those 10 days, and he was not before that, then he would abstain from the cutting of the nails and the hair, and also the skin from the moment he became capable of producing the udhiyah. He who did cut himself or cut his nail, and he forgot, nothing upon him, there's nothing inshallah would affect him, no sin. But if he did it deliberately, then we will say his sin, but yet his udhiyah is accepted. As for the person who does it out of necessity, like a person, he has some illness in his head and he had to shave his hair, no problem and no sin, and nothing would affect him. Now, if a person, before I go ahead with this udhiyah, as I said, it's been made for the sake of reviving the sunnah of Ibrahim alayhi salam, and also to get closer to Allah the Almighty subhanahu wa ta'ala. For that sake, we may not give the price of this udhiyah in charity. So we can't just say, for example, the udhiyah costs £100, let's just give £100 instead of making the udhiyah. We must make the udhiyah and slaughter the udhiyah. The same thing that is being said as well for the sadaqat al-fitr. When we have the sadaqat al-fitr in food, we may not produce that food into money, unless we give it to a person who is a third party. He will change that money into food and give it to the poor person. This udhiyah is only in the an'am. An'am, bahimatul an'am, means the cows and the camels and the sheep. The camels, there are something which is as well called the llama, which is as well close to the camel and no problem, and also the buffalo for the cows. And in terms of the sheep, there is the goats and the sheep. All of them are to be allowed. So you're not allowed to do it in other than those animals, whether it is cheaper, like a chicken or rabbit, or more expensive, like a horse. You can't do that. So it's only in those animals. And the best of those animals to slaughter is the camel, then the cow, then the sheep. And after that, the 10th of the camel and the 7th of the cow. And in terms of as well, white and black, and male and female, we prefer the male to slaughter than the female. And also we prefer, Sunnah prefers as well, the white and the black. And also the one with horns is better as well than the one which is not horned. So all of those etiquettes have been said. And from that we understand that the camel can be slaughtered for 10 families, whereas the cow for 7 families. You see, I need to explain to you the difference between the udhiyah and the hadi, where the hajj he does. The hajj is for individuals, where the udhiyah for families. So let's say, for example, we have a family where the householder is a man and he's got, mashallah, 4 wives, and also he has 44 kids. How many in total we have the family? Again, husband, yes? 49. I made this number because you're going to divide by 7, that's why. So it's 49. How many sheep do we need for udhiyah? How many sheep do we need for all? You've got 4 wives, 44 kids and a husband. How many sheep? Fadal akhi. Hang on. Yes, you, I'm not my brother here. The one with the glasses. Come on, I'm pointing to you. You know I'm pointing to you. Why?
There's going to be 49.
49 for the... Yes, brother? 4, yes? 1. Okay. We would like to get closer as well. Get closer. It'll be a benefit, inshallah. Get closer. Don't really... Get closer is benefit, inshallah. Right. So how many? We said... No, you can't. Yes? 1. We need only 1 sheep. For the 4 wives and the 44 kids, and this husband is only 1 householder, and is the husband, so he's got 1 sheep to do. Now, if he is to go for Hajj, all his family, how many cows do we need for Hajj? If he's going to Hajj and he's doing all of his family, we have got 49 total, and he's doing Hajj, how many cows do we need for him? He doesn't need hadi or qaran for Hajj. Just 1 cow. Now, 7 cows. You need 7 cows. Because 7 cow is 7 individuals can share in it. So 7 individuals is 49. 7 divided by 7, that's 14. So 7 cows we need. And how many sheep? We also slaughter sheep. How many sheep? How many sheep if it's a hadi? 49 sheep. Excellent. So even the baby will have a sheep. 49 sheep. Right. We have 7 families. Each family is the same. 44 kids plus a wife. 4 wives. 44 kids plus 4 wives. So altogether we've got 7 families. Okay? 7 families. We have each family 4 wives and 44 kids. How many cows do we need for al-udhiyah? Shh. Only him. 70 cows we need. Okay, I said again, we have 7 families, each family, 4 wives, 44 kids. So we have 49 in each family. How many cows do we need? Shh. Father, yes, put your finger up. Don't know the beard. 7 cows. Okay, brother? 1 cow. See, 1 cow. So you said 1 cow, 7 families share and participate in the udhiyah. Whereas in the hadi, individuals. You understand that? So if those 7 families were to go to Hajj, all of them, how many cows do we need? How many cows do we need? You understand that? Yes. 7 cows. How many sheep do we need? Yalla, calculation, huh? How many sheep do we need for the hadi? Oh, it's a lot, isn't it? Whew. 350 minus 7, that's all. 343, that's all. Do you understand that? Multiply 7 by 5, 350 minus 7, 353. Okay? Right, okay, never mind. You have to be mathematicians. Right, so we have a lot of sheep to be done when we do the hadi, while in the udhiyah is less, because the families are combined, not the individual. Coming back, we say that if this person had bought his sheep, then if he bought it already, for example, with something wrong with it, and somehow Allah made it okay when he wanted to slaughter it, we say this is not accepted, because you have to choose your udhiyah from the beginning, fulfilling the conditions which I'm going to be talking about. That is number 1, in terms of age. Age-wise, that is, has to be a da'n, that is a white, and the white in da'n means, jada', and jada' in the da'n means over 6 months. And in the goats, which is, the goats is different from the sheep has got wool, the goats has got hair. So the goats is to be 1 year upwards, and as for the cows, 2 years upwards, and as for the camels, is 5 years upwards. Now those condition is not in the aqiqah, nor it is in the hadi. In the hadi, فَمَا تَيَسَّرَ فَمَا اسْتَيْسَرَ مِنَ الْهَدِي فَمَا اسْتَيْسَرَ مِنَ الْهَدِي. Whatever is available from the hadi. That's it. Anything. So there's no need for the age. And the age can be known by those who are expert. But these days, each sheep in this country, they've got tag. And this tag, it represents as well the birth as well, when it was born. So, in terms of age, we said it, and also you have to avoid the following. Number one, you can't have it blind or one-eyed. Number two, you can't have it crippled. Number three, you can't have it mad. Number four, you can't have it ill. Number five, you can't have anything that would deduct or have a deficiency in the figure or in the meat. In the figure, like for example, it's got a burnt horns. For example, cut ears. Ears have been cut, most of it. And also for the meat, like the tongue is being cut because it affects the meat. So all of that is not to be accepted. So you have to look for your udhiyah to be from the best. And that is why when you give those people to make an udhiyah and deputize them, you don't know what they're going to choose for you. You don't know, unless you trust them. So you have to make sure that you were giving your money to somebody, or at least you see it yourself, and you'll be happy. So, I mean, I'm telling you, God knows, is these people applying the age? The age, I'm just talking about the age. Are they applying the age? Because for them to sacrifice a smaller animal, much cheaper and more profitable for them than to slaughter a big one. So make sure that you really choose the right one. And it is, according to some of the scholars, it is a must, like Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen, Sheikh Al-Fawzan, Sheikh Al-Albani, you must eat from it. If this is the case, then how can I slaughter it in Somalia and then I'm going to have my meat shipped from Somalia? It doesn't really work. So it is a must, I need to eat from it, some of the scholars they say. But we don't say if you slaughter it somewhere else, it's not going to be accepted. But you have actually violated a sunnah. That is, you can't, where is it? You're not going to eat from it. And more sunnah has been as well being taken away. This is more violation, but the other ones is you have missed it, which is the sunnah at least to, if you can slaughter it with your own hands. If you can't, you could see it. You might be present to be seeing it. But to do it somewhere else, your children not involved, your family didn't see it, nothing. It just might as well go to the butcher and ask for meat, and that's it. What's this udhiyah? So if you can't, you slaughter yourself, at least be present. If you can't be present, go to a butcher whom you trust to go and do it for you. Put your name and let him give you the udhiyah that he slaughtered for you. If he said to you, go into the fridge and take, whatever meat you want, and we'll slaughter that for you. Now, don't do that. Don't go to that man. That man is not really knowing what he's doing. I want the udhiyah which is going to come into a bag, which is what my name is on it. That's what I want. This udhiyah, as I said, is a must upon the person, and you are encouraged to do this udhiyah as fast as possible. You have 4 days. Okay, 4 days. This is the day of Adha, and the following 3 days up to the sunset of the last day. Now, the etiquettes of slaughtering. By the way, there are things I'm going to be as well talking about, which is it's not right. The etiquette of slaughtering: number one, to sharpen the knife away from the animal. Number two, to slaughter the animal away from another animal. So the person needs to, as well, when he slaughters the animal, he slaughters away from the other animal. Also, you need the strength when you hold the knife. So that means the kid cannot slaughter because he's got no strength. He will torture the animal. Also, the women, to slaughter, they have to be strong women. When you slaughter, you face the Qibla, and that is a hadith which is sahih. And you put the sheep on its side, depending upon if you are right-handed or you're left-handed. If you're right-handed, you put it on the left side of the sheep. And if you are left-handed, you put it on the right side. So they're opposite. In order, for example, if you're right-handed, you're now, let's say this is the Qibla. Okay? So you put the sheep, if you're right-handed, you put the sheep on the left side. You hold the head and you put your knee on top of the sheep. You've got somebody as well to hold the feet, or you could tie up the feet. And all that you just say, that is to slaughter. We're going to now tell you what you're going to say. So you're going to slaughter, and then it's strength. You're going to go forward and back. Maybe forward and it's finished, but forward and backward. But this is to show this. You're not supposed to do like that. It's not a cleaver, right? It's forward and backward, and it's very easy. And you've got all that area, which is the neck. All that area. It's not really 1 centimeter. No, it's a big area, mashallah. You slaughter. But make sure that you've got lots of wool there to, make sure that you have taken the wool away in order the knife would reach the skin, because you don't want to go to the wool. The wool is going to be stopping you from, making an easy kill. Right. Now what you say is that the following: Allahumma hadha anni wa an ahli bayti. This is recommended. This is on my behalf of my family. On my behalf and on behalf of my family. And then Bismillah, which is a condition. You have to say Bismillah. And then recommended to add Allahu Akbar. It's not a must. So if you just said Bismillah is enough. But it's better to say Allahumma hadha anni wa an ahli bayti. You don't have to say Allahumma anni hadi and you mention your own name and your full name and your address. Allahumma hadha anni wa an ahli bayti. And then Bismillah, and then as well you add it better, Allahu Akbar. And this is every sheep that you slaughter. So you suppose, for example, you're slaughtering 5 or 6, then to repeat that 6 or 7 times. That means 6 Bismillah, most important thing. So you can't just say Bismillah to the power 6. Or Bismillah on all of them. It has to be each one, Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, to recommend. And each person, if he said to you that I want my udhiyah on my behalf, Allahumma hada anhu. On his behalf and on ahli bayti. Okay, you don't have to mention even his name, if you know what he is. But if you don't know his name, Allahumma hada an, for example, Muhammad and his family of Muhammad. Muhammad, not the Prophet ﷺ. You're not supposed to slaughter the Prophet of Allah. And that's another issue. Some people dedicate some meat to the Prophet of Allah. And that's not right. In terms of as well, the meat itself, when you divide it, it's not really one part for you, one part for the family, one part for the rich, one part for the poor. And then you can really precise. You could eat, and you could eat more than you give. The more you give, the more rewardable you are. Don't cut from the back. If you cut from the back and you kill the sheep before you reach those jugular veins, then the sheep is not going to be allowed to be eaten. When you slaughter, as in 1, 2, you don't go all the way until you cut the head. So 1, 2, and then you leave the blood to come out. And then after that, you could do whatever you like. So skin the sheep, cut the head, whatever you like. So cut the sheep and leave it to gush the blood out. And that is why the stunning, when you stun the animal will be dizzy. He will not be in his full power. And if he's not in his full power, he will not gush the blood the way that he will gush it without stunning. That's why the non-stunned animal more tastier, because the meat will be much cleaner from inside, from the blood, if you understand me. That's the stunning does it, because the animal is not as strong. So because he's not really gushing the blood as he is, and plus the animal will be tortured twice. But that stunning 100% does not kill the animal. 100%. If you leave that sheep on itself, it will what? Go on. The sheep 100%, and when it's stunned, you could see the animal. If you leave it for 5 minutes, it will come out, and then that's it. So it's stunning, and then but the one which has worried me now is the cow. Because the cow, they shoot it with a gun. It's a gun. And now when they shoot it, okay, they say that the animal moves. But does it move as in nerves-wise? Or does it move as alive? So when they shoot it, they slaughter it straight away. Does it die with the shot? Or does it stay alive? Allahu A'lam. Now, again, is the shot here is something that, the blood comes out, it becomes like the aqar. You know what you do with the camel? We do aqar, like this, until the camel goes down, then we slaughter it. The aqar, because we cannot really, slaughter the camel or the cow easily. These animals are big. You can't do anything like a sheep is going to cooperate with you. No. I've seen a person who is a butcher, he had stitches all the way from there to there, and he is really, mashallah, gym man, goes to the muscles man, mashallah. He was being here, I said, what happened to you? And he's been 6 months, Conry. He said, I was slaughtering a bull. And when I was slaughtering a bull, the bull somehow moved so much and vigorously that it moved the knife, and the knife made a big cut all the way. I've seen it, from there all the way. And how many stitches there? And he stayed for 6 months, can't move it. And he's a muscle man. So it's not really easy animals to kill. So there is the call, which we call it the aqar nab. I still say the cow is still alive, but Allah Ta'ala, he said to me, come and see. Right, if this person had forgotten to say Bismillah, no problem. And we do understand the opinion of Shaykh al-Uthaymeen, what he says, he can't eat from it. But we say the hadith of Ibn Abbas, radiallahu anhuma, what he says, وُضِعَ عَنْ أُمَّتِي وَلَيْسَ رُفِعَ وُضِعَ عَنْ أُمَّتِي and nisyan, my ummah will not be accounted for what they forget for, or they've been in a mistake, or they've been compelled to do it. It's not going to be accounted for that. So that is why we say, if you forgot to say Bismillah, then you yourself say Bismillah when you eat it. Okay? You say Bismillah when you eat it. And that is why we say, if you had Christian meat which has been slaughtered, you say Bismillah. You only don't eat the Christian meat or the Jewish meat if you heard the Christian or the Jewish, when he slaughters it, he said, in the name of other than Allah. But if you didn't hear it, you just say Bismillah and eat it. If you can slaughter the meat, slaughter it. Otherwise, you could make somebody slaughter it for you, and you look at him, no problem. If there was a baby inside, that means a cub inside the sheep, then it will be the slaughtering of the cub is the slaughtering of the mother. Unless the cub was alive, then you slaughter him again. There's a difference between the hunting and the udhiyah. There's a hunt. When you hunt, for example, you shoot a bird, you shoot an animal like a gazelle or a deer. This shooting will become the halal. You see, how can we say that the deer, when we shoot him, is halal, and when we shoot the cow, is not halal? You see, if the cow or the camel or the sheep had behaved in a way which is similar to the wild beast, then we do the same thing. Prophet ﷺ had one of the sheep, nadda, he was really quickly running. One of the companions with his arrow shot him. So he said, verily some of those bahimat al-an'am, the ones which are domestic animals, they do have the inside of a beast, like the beast they behave. If some of them had behaved like this, then this is the way to kill it, with an arrow or the shotgun or whatever. So when you shoot the gazelle or the bird, you don't have to be the difference between the shooting and the udhiyah. Number one is in terms of the saying of Bismillah. Bismillah for the udhiyah or for the slaughtering of the aqiqah or the hari is actually you're saying Bismillah on the animal himself. So if you have more than 3-4 animals, you have to repeat that Bismillah, Bismillah, Bismillah. It's not on the two. So if, for example, you said Bismillah and you're about to slaughter, you looked at the knife and you said the knife, I'm going to change it. You could bring another knife and you don't have to repeat Bismillah, because the Bismillah is on the what? On the animal. It's not on the knife. But if you want to change the animal, you say, oh, I don't like this one here. Take it away, bring another one. I have to say Bismillah again because for the animal. Whereas the hunt is totally different. Is that the Bismillah is on your shooting tool, is your tool of hunting. So if you shoot, for example, a rifle, and you are saying Bismillah, and you are pointing to a rabbit, or whatever, and you are trying to shoot that rabbit, Bismillah, and somehow, either your rifle has something wrong with it, or something wrong with your eyes, or something wrong with your way that you shoot a bird next to it, which you did not shoot the rabbit, don't worry. Your Bismillah is not on the rabbit, your Bismillah is on the what? On the tool, which is a hunting tool. So, if for example you said Bismillah and you're about to shoot, and then you change your rifle to another rifle, you need to repeat what? The Bismillah. Whereas the other one, you don't repeat Bismillah on the knife. And that is why I said, Alhamdulillah, this is from the relaxation Allah has given us. Relief. It's a concession. Because if I said Bismillah on the animal, I don't know I'm going to shoot that animal or not. So imagine now, mashallah, I'm going to shoot Bismillah and it's to be on the animal. I didn't know that about 10 birds behind that bird. And my shotgun, mashallah, boop, 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 huh? 11 birds. So if my Bismillah is on one bird, then all the 9 birds are haram to eat. But my Bismillah is on my tool. So if I kill this bird and other birds, alhamdulillah, it doesn't matter. And that is why if you have a hunting dog in return, you say Bismillah and you leave him in the morning. He'll go hunt for you. And the whole day he will hunt for you. It doesn't matter how many he hunted for you with that Bismillah. You say Bismillah only once. Now, and this is, by the way, alhamdulillah, that we could say that we have finished most of the thing that is etiquette, but the left as well, that you're not allowed even to give to the butcher anything from that meat except if it is sadaqah. If that butcher is poor, you give him from the meat, but you don't give him from the meat as to be part of the wages, part of his expenses when he slaughtered your animal. And if it is embedded with you, like in our country, you would say, for example, how much is it? The sheep to be slaughtered, he would say to you, 15 pounds plus the skin. So the skin became part of the what? Of the slaughter. So he said, no, give me your price without the skin. I'm not going to give you the skin. Skin, I'm not going to give it to you. How much? The skin, 25. You put the price up to 10 dinars. Okay, 25. Then you could give him the what? The skin. You could give him whatever you like. Meat, skin. But don't make that skin or any meat to be part of what you're going to be paying him for the expenses of his slaughtering. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. And if you have any questions, go ahead. Uncle?
I don't know what time the Adha will actually do my preparation. To have to wait until the Surya is performed, or can I eat before that? Because I've been trouble if I don't eat.
Uncle, you must eat. It's not you must eat. Okay? In your case, you can't wait for the udhiyah because you need sugar. Alright? But you could do the following. You eat light meals in order to get your meal from that slaughtering of yours, inshallah. So you make yourself satisfied for the sake of not really falling into the danger until your meat comes in. But don't wait, because I know that the diabetic people, they have to be careful about this issue. You know, the diabetic, when he goes up, is not as dangerous when he goes what, doctor? Down. Now, further. Can we eat meat slaughtered by Shia? If we understand how to treat the Shia, then we'll understand if it's halal or not. In our categorization to the Shia, that the Shia are of two types. Shia, which we say that they are extremists and they are kuffar, all together. And that is those are the ones who are believing in like the Ismailiyah. Ismailiyah, they call themselves Nusayriyah as well. And there are others which are not extremists. So in this categorization, we would say a person who says La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, just like he entered Islam with 100% certainty, we can't take him out of Islam unless we have certainty. We cannot say all the Shia kuffar. We cannot say even all the Rafidah, who are the worst enemies to the Muslim, the Sunni, to be kuffar. Because not every Rafidi believes in the Rafidi aqidah. You could say most of them are Fusaq, Dhullal, yes, but to be kuffar, because he says Muhammad Rasulullah, we can't say that. So you could say, any person who says 1, 2, 3 is a kafir, but not every person who's Rafidi is a kafir. So if a person believes in the Rafidi aqidah, just one aqidah, like for example the Quran between in our hand is not the Quran, full Quran, it's 1/3, the Quran is the Mus'haf, Fatima. Or he says that Aisha is a fornicator, he's opposing the Quran itself, he's a kafir. Or he had deemed that the companions are to be kuffar, and then taken out from the religion, he's a kafir. But not every single aqidah, most of them, yes, they're knowledgeable people, yes, but some ignorant people, they don't know these things. Like in our Sunni people, if you ask them, what is the name of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he doesn't know. I've got a video of that. Wallah, I've got a video of that. Muslim being Sunni. Somebody's asking him, the name of Muhammad, the name of Prophet Muhammad, is it Isa or Musa? I've got it there with you. He's asking, Isa or Musa? And he said, okay, I'll give you 500 pounds. Isa or Musa? Muhammad, his name? Isa. I said, no, he says Musa. So the questioner is saying to him, the name of the Prophet Muhammad, Isa or Musa? Are you Sunni? I don't know what I'm going to say the country, because the person is going to come, oh, why are you not condemning my country? Allah Musta, I've got a video. And mashallah, shiyukh, they went to some of the villages in some country, they asked them, come on, recite the Fatiha. Come on, recite the Fatiha. So don't say that all the Sunni is the same. Same thing with the Shia. So if it is the case, I would avoid to eat from the Shia, but I can't say the slaughtering of the Shia is haram unless I know who's that Shia. Do you understand me? Unless I know the Shia is a kafir, I can't eat from him. Alright, I can't eat from him. And I would say it's better for you to eat from a Christian or a Jewish, where you didn't know what he said, as long as they slaughter, rather than to eat from the Shia. Okay? To eat from the Christian or the Jewish, as long as you know that they have slaughtered, because they killed the animal without slaughtering, even if it's Abdullah or Muhammad has killed the animal, you can't eat from that. It doesn't make it lawful. Now, Jazakallah. Fadal.
If somebody making udhiyah on behalf of you in another country, do they have to wait until you are praying your Eid?
Any person who is making an udhiyah in a different country, in that country, they make the udhiyah according to their Eid, not to your Eid. And you have to abstain from the nails and the hair and the skin until they slaughter their udhiyah in their Eid. So if they postpone it, you have to wait until they finish. So when they slaughter it there, they don't have to wait for your own Eid prayer, okay? They wait for their own Eid. Is that what your question is?
Yeah, I'm paying udhiyah, so there is slaughter on behalf of me.
Yeah, they have to slaughter the king there, according to their Eid, but not according to your Eid. So if you send it to, say for example, Australia, and their Eid is a day before, and your Eid is a day after, they can't wait for you. Or vice versa, if their Eid is after, and your Eid is before, they can't slaughter the day before their own Eid, for your Eid. It's slaughtering according to where they slaughtered, not according to who is the one who paid all day, alright?
Where do you start from that hadith that man who came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, wherever you slaughtered is just sadaqah?
No, this person is talking about his own Eid prayer, he's not talking about a different country. Prophet ﷺ said, he who slaughters before the Salat al-Eid is like a sadaqah. Salat al-Eid, that is the one where he is. Do you understand me? So if, for example, you appointed someone in Somalia to go and slaughter the udhiyah, he doesn't wait for your own Eid. He waits for his Eid there. Okay? It's the udhiyah is attached to the Eid there, not to you. That's what the consensus, none of us among those conferences.
Is it my udhiyah or is it their udhiyah?
It is your udhiyah.
Yes.
But it has to be slaughtered according to them. It's like sadaqat al-fitr, the same thing. So you say that you paid zakat al-fitr in Somalia, and their Eid prayer is, for example, after. Can they give the sadaqat al-fitr 2 days before the Ramadan is finished? It has to be after their Salat al-Eid. So if you Salat al-Eid about 2 days before, or 1 day before, they can't give it. They have to wait for their own Salat al-Eid. Alright? So the udhiyah is to be given to the people, whether the family is there or the poor people, on the day of udhiyah. They can't make it before the day of udhiyah, on their day of Hajj or Arafah. Now,
Do the Shia have a different form of love of sacrificing? Because you touched on this maybe so is there anything different from the Sunnah?
I said I differentiate between the extremists and non-extremists. Some of them, they are kuffar, but I cannot as well sometimes generalize the kuffar over the people who are general people. Even the Nusayriya himself. Some of the scholars differ as well. They say, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. But you see, if anybody into the Ismailiyah, he knows that if he wants to be pure, he says, Muhammad, Ali, Fatima, Al-Hassan, Al-Hussein. He became now al-Mudu. Okay? I mean, the prayer is not accepted. How can it be al-Mudu when you just mention these names? The 5 names, including Salman al-Farsi. Salman. So how can we consider to be Muslim? So their way of slaughtering, I don't think there is a way of, but they might give their own prayers. If it's a special Shia or something. I don't know. I haven't really gone deep into that way that they slaughter, but they might say in the name of Ali. Hey, no. Halal, if you go to an abattoir where they stun the animal and they slaughter it. We say that it's not really the right way, but if you have your udhiyah done this way, it is accepted, inshallah. Take my word for that, 100%. Now,
What's considered a service from country?
I mean, if a person can produce his expenses for the day and the night, and he have enough money to produce an udhiyah, he has to do it. Day and the night, not himself, him and his family. As a surplus. Now, well, no problem if the person cannot find somebody to have a sort of appetite, okay, I could say, to eat, for example, the guts of the animal, and he wants to throw it, no problem, because it could be beneficial for the animal, beneficial for the land, beneficial because they put it in a special place, they don't throw it like this. You can't put it in a normal bin. They'll take it, they fertilize the land with it, so if you can't have people to have it, which I know that the heads will be thrown. Most of the heads will be thrown. In our country, the best is the head. So when you've been invited to an invitation, a special one, especially they put you the big tray in it, the big head is open like that. One person was invited to one of my friends, he put the head, he was scared. He was scared. He said, this is an honor. Head with an open like this, and the tongue is sticking out. And the best part of that animal is the tongue. So the person who is daring himself, he will go straight away to the tongue and get it. But alhamdulillah, these days they divide the tongue. Take it out and give each one a piece. Unless the person, but the best one is the tongue. As Luqman, he told his son when he slaughtered the animal, what is the best in the animal? He said to him, what? The tongue. The best in the animal, the tongue. Now,
what are the likely causes of why the Eid Salah should take place in the mosque?
what is the what?
The likely causes for Eid Salah to take place in the mosque.
Likely causes? What is the reasons for praying in the Salat al-Eid al-Masjid? Well, number one, if you don't have a permission to pray outside. If you don't have a permission to pray outside, you can't do anything. Number two, if it is really raining. The rain, then it makes you pray in the masjid. But these days, alhamdulillah, we have technology. We could pray in the outside, even with the rain. With the marquees, the big marquees. You could have big marquees. And you know the difference between praying outside in the Eid prayer and praying inside the masjid. There's a lot of difference. And as I said, showed to the brothers were in Russia, how many people they pray, mashallah, in the street. So the sunnah is to pray outside, definitely, not to pray inside. Now, further, last question. Are there any questions here before that? Further. I'll give you a question.
He delayed the udhiyah from the last day of Tashriq.
No problem to delay it as long as you know you're going to do it.
Because of the price, they want the...
No problem if it goes the price will shoot up. And you don't want to, because too much, so they'll wait, but as long as they have certainty. And then they think they're not going to have slaughtering, the slaughtering is going to be finishing, and he should not wait. But if you have certainty, there will be final sheep, but because the sheep price will go down, no problem. But he will skip the sunnah of not to eat until he eats from the slaughtering, because he's not going to wait until 2, 3, 4 days, is he? Okay, so if he's sure, he could wait. And I know for a fact, the third day, prices go down. But maybe on the fourth day, they go up again. It's the last day, people will leave it. So it's stuck up and down, it's stock market, you know. Now, for the...
Sure. The Hajj we do now, is it the same Hajj that Prophet Ibrahim did, or did he do any Hajj?
Is this Hajj of Ibrahim similar to our Hajj? Well, I could say all the prayers that the Prophets had done, all the Hajj and all the rituals, they are similar, but are they exactly the same? Allahu Ta'ala. We can't say that because the Prophet ﷺ, when he did the Hajj, he said, "Khudhu anni manasikakum." Take your rituals from me. Don't. He never said, take your rituals from the Prophet who were before me. And we know that most of the Hajj rituals has been done to follow the steps of Ibrahim, because he's the first one who's done the Hajj. But maybe the Prophet ﷺ, he tied up more etiquettes to the Hajj than Ibrahim alayhi. As for the throwing of the pebbles, you know that we throw the pebbles because Shaitan came out to Prophet Ibrahim in those 3 places. And Ibrahim alayhi, he pelted each time 7 pebbles to each one of them, and he was to go in the ground. So, also we find ourselves, for example, that the sa'i between Safa and Marwa, and that is between them Hajj. So Hajj, she did the sa'i and Marwa, and the Prophet Ibrahim was commanded to do the Hajj, and he's doing the what? The sa'i between Safa and Marwa. Remember, he is the one who had left his wife and his son without food except for that little one. And ended up that the water of Zamzam came out, which is part of the Hajj. Ended up the house built was there because of that. Ended up with the sa'i because of that, next to that area. All of that resulted from the time of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Is it the same? Allahu a'lam. Subhanakallah wa bihamdih.